I think that goes a long way. You can people argue about whether chemistry matters or not, but I think it's a real thing, and I think it matters.
We're just going out there and competing and have each other's back.
It's almost like it's not just like wishing they're going to score. It's almost like knowing they're going to score now.
Pitchers are filling up the zone with strikes. Defense is unbelievable.
And our guys are playing the game to win the right way. So that part's really meaningful. They should enjoy what they're doing. It's pretty special.
Good team. Everybody gets along here, and everybody is enjoying the ride. And we're blessed to be here. Why not enjoy it?
The Cleveland Indians have set a new record for the longest win streak in American League history. Another gorgeous September day here on the North Coast. And as day turns to evening, the Cleveland Indians welcome a new American League Central foe, the Kansas City Royals, to town. But right now, the talk of baseball and the talk of the sports world is the Cleveland Indians, streaking 21 in a row. The only streak left to conquer now, the New York Giants of 1916, which it should be pointed out, that 26-game win streak, impressive as it is, all 26 games of those were played at home. It was part of a 31-game homestand.
Are you kidding
me? How times have changed in over 100 years in Major League Baseball. Well, the Cleveland Indians are on a roll. There's no question about that. You and I have both been asked by a lot of people, what's the key? The pitching's been great. The defense has been great. The hitting has been timely. Everything has come together. One thing we haven't talked a lot about, ever since the acquisition of Jay Bruce, this team has really kicked it into another gear.
Well, he felt comfortable since day one coming over to here. I remember when he had his first pinch hit appearance in Tampa, but since that point, he fits into this club nicely. He sits into the middle part of the lineup. He quietly has 34 home runs this year, 93 RBIs, and one thing, you don't realize that most of it have come with the Mets, but he has certainly helped this ball club out. He's great in the clubhouse, and you look at the numbers that we continue to show you night after night after night, the 41 home runs, the 170 ERA by the starters, 7 shutouts. 3 of those shutouts have come against the Kansas City Royals the last time they were in town.
Yeah, they've outscored the opposition by 104 runs during this streak. And now they welcome in the Kansas City Royals. And oh, by the way, the Tribe has won 14 in a row against Central Division opponents. Well, we've got a lot more to come. We'll be back with tonight's first pitch between Cleveland and Kansas City. Plus, Alan Jensen have tonight's showstopper as the Minnesota Twins continue their trek toward a wild card berth. And Andre Knott has the story of the return of Andrew Miller. It's all straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution. World, they're the talk of the entire sports world. Winners of 21 straight, the longest streak ever in the American League. Welcome back to Center Field along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. It is time for our showstopper now. One of the teams trying to make the postseason in the American League Central, but of course, they're not going to catch the Tribe, but they might make it as a wild card. Our showstopper, Eddie Rosario, walking it off last night. Twins a winner.
Big comeback win for them as San Diego tied it in the 8th, but what a year Rosario and this Twins squad has had. They begin a 4-game series hosting the Toronto Blue Jays. It'll be Jose Barrios against Brett Anderson, and the magic number remains at 4. We are all Blue Jay fans north of the border. They got to come down and really play some inspired baseball because the Twins are hot right now.
The Indians could indeed clinch within the next couple of days right here at Progressive Field, depending on what the Twins do as well. Let's set it upstairs. Matt Underwood and Rick Manning have the call on tonight's game, and maybe it will be a historic win, number 22 in a row, fellas.
Well, I mean, you can't say no, can you? I mean, you can't look past anything this team has done. You'd be a fool to bet against them because night in and night out, they bring the same attitude to the ballpark. Let's try to win this game. And that'll be the same situation here tonight as Josh Tomlin goes for the Tribe against the Kansas City Royals. But there is one new addition to the team. Andrew Miller is back. With more on that, here's Andre Nunn.
Thank you, Matt. How does the team on a 21-game win streak get better? They had the best reliever in baseball in Andrew Miller. And after pitching in the World Series last year and getting used like no reliever has ever been used, then pitching in the World Baseball Classic back in March, maybe, just maybe, this time on the DL could help Andrew Miller possibly pull off the impossible and do the same thing again this October. We sat and talked with Andrew Miller before the game about his usage and how he hopes it will help him going forward. And tonight's Hear Right sounds of the game.
Hopefully my arm, caught a little bit of a breather here, but, that's been pretty good throughout the year. I know that, last year was a lot of innings. Obviously, we played as long as you possibly could, and, I did the WBC and all that stuff this year, and I feel like, my arms reacted pretty well to it. So I think, you hope that there's a positive. I'm a little bit fresher, but I'm not really too worried about that.
He was a game changer in the postseason a year ago, and Terry Francona, in a perfect world, would like to be able to not have to lean on him maybe as much. But Rick, he told me before the game, he's still a weapon, and he still will be a key to this team's success.
Well, and they're going to need him back. That bullpen is that much better, and they're going to try and get him in the ball game tonight. So let's hope that works out, and we need him in the postseason.
Great to see Josh Tomlin on the hill tonight. We missed his start against Baltimore. We didn't televise that game, but it was same old Josh Tomlin.
It certainly was. Let's check out Josh Tomlin. He is our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for tonight. Tomlin 9-9 with a 5.13 ERA. He has made 3 starts this year against Kansas City. He's pitched very well. He's 1-1, 193 earned run average. The one game he pitched in this ballpark, it was a complete game. 9 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. He struck out 3, and of course he didn't walk a batter. So he's going to go out there and do his thing. Tomlin has gone 5-0 over his last 6 starts, pitched very well, and we'll see if Josh can keep that rolling. We know one thing, he's going to be out there throwing strikes.
Ned Yost starting lineup for the Kansas City Royals, brought to us by Hankook Tires. Whit Merrifield at the top. Lorenzo Cain, swinging the bat well, will hit second. Melky Cabrera in the midst of a cold spell, batting third. Then Eric Hosmer bats cleanup. Salvador Perez is fifth. Mike Moustakas will hit sixth with 36 home runs on the year. Then it's Brandon Moss, Alcides Escobar, and Alex Gordon batting ninth.
And let's take a look at that Indians defense, brought to you by Ram. It'll be Chisenhall on left. Almonte gets the start in center field tonight. Bruce is over and right. Diaz at third, Lindor at short. Ramirez is at second, Santana at first, and Gomes doing the catching.
John Tumpane has the plate tonight. Lance Barksdale at first. The crew chief, Ted Barrett, at second base. Angel Hernandez is down at third. There is an absolute sea of humanity trying to get into the ballpark at the last minute here tonight. It looks like that line stretches from the gate. Well, that's actually out in center field, but the gate on the left field.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond the home run porch. It stretches. It looks like it stretches all the way back to the queue.
I'm sure it does. They had about 19,000 sold yesterday. It's going to be up about 30, if not more.
Whit Merrifield takes a strike, and we're underway here tonight. 71 degrees, our game time temperature. Partly cloudy skies, but really a beautiful night. Not much of a breeze. A little high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Picked him up. Ramirez calls for it. The second baseman puts it away, 1 down. Tell you what, this shows you right here how this team and this streak in particular has captured everybody's attention, because a lot of these folks just said, hey, you know what, let's jump in the car, let's go down to the ball game. They didn't plan this out ahead. They just kind of said, hey, let's go.
And everybody's coming at once. But by the second inning, they'll all be in their seats.
Beautiful night, why not? Here's Lorenzo Cain. And he looks at a fastball away. Cain has hit in 4 straight. And he's had a good year swinging the bat against the Indians. He's at .321 off Tribe pitching. Sends a high fly ball to left. Lonnie Chisenhall over there. Almonte calls him off, and Abe makes the catch in center field. 2 down. Rick, if you're Lonnie Chisenhall, you've played primarily right field, you've dabbled in center, you're working in and left. What's the biggest challenge he has in moving around?
Nothing. He went over there. He thought he could catch the ball, but you listen to your center fielder just like you do in right field. You got to make sure you're aggressive in center. Almonte getting the start today, so just a matter of getting used to the new guys. Center fielder, take everything you can.
Melky Cabrera stands in. Cabrera came over to the Royals after a trade with the White Sox. He's had a good year swinging the bat against the Indians. Currently in the midst of an 0 for 10 spell at the dish, and 2 for his last 23 overall. I don't know if we saw him at any stretch this year where he was cold like that.
No, you're absolutely right. When he was with the White Sox, he wore us out. Always found a way to get hits. And he started when he was in Kansas City the same way.
Tomlin's 0-2 pitch. A little high. The Indians have won 9 of 15 against Kansas City this year, but 6 of the last 7 overall. Check swing, strike 3 called, inning over. Tomlin sets him down 1-2-3 on 9 pitches, and the Indians are coming to bat. Eric Hosmer, always tough to contend with. He's 3rd in the American League with a .325 batting average. Francisco Lindor, the Indians' leadoff man during the win streak, has batted .370 with 9 homers and 19 runs batted in.
Well, and Jacob Junis will be facing the Indians tonight. The rookie, he will be our Northern Ohio Monday starting pitcher, and he's really having a fine rookie year. 13th start. It'll be the second time he's faced the Indians. The last time came in relief, 2 1/3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 4 runs, but he hasn't lost a start since you go back to the end of June. So he's pitched very well for him. Basically a sinker slider guy. He doesn't walk many people, and not a big strikeout guy. They put it in play.
First pitch to Lindor is down low. Popped him up foul, and this is back to the screen and out of play. Salvador Perez gave it a look, could not get to it.
Yeah, you look at it, since August 1st, Junis has only walked 3 hitters, and he has 37 strikeouts, so that ratio is unbelievable. But a lot on his plate tonight. He's facing a hot offense.
A little high. Swung on and missed it. That'll leave in the count of 2-2. And it's outside, full count.
24-year-old right-hander. He was the Royals' 29th round pick back in 2011 out of Rock Falls, Illinois High School.
And a ground ball to first. Hosmer will turn around and flip it, and Junis beats Lindor to the bag for out number 1. The rest of the Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Lonnie Chisenhall in the 2-hole, followed by Jose Ramirez and Edwin Encarnacion and Jay Bruce. They've combined for 68 home runs. Carlos Santana will bat 6th. Yandy Diaz, Abe Almonte, and Yan Gomes batting 9th. Terry Francona talking it over with Brad Mills here in the early going. Oh man, Chisenhall pulls it right off the facing of the Royals dugout. That sent a few guys scattering.
That's another ball. That's hard to do what he just did right there. Pull it that far over. I mean, it is.
He went after a former teammate. It looked like Brandon Moss was over there. Fouls it off 0-2. Lonnie Chisenhall 0 for his last 12, trying to knock the rust off after he missed time with the calf injury. Remember, when he went on the DL, he was leading the Indians with 51 runs batted in.
Yes, he was.
Nine for 41 since coming off the disabled list on September 1st. And ground ball to second. Merrifield will throw him out, 2 down.
Let's take a look at that Kansas City defense, brought to you by WB Mason. Stacks up. This way, Gordon is in left, Kane in center, Cabrera over in right, Moustakas in third. Escobar at short, Merrifield at second. Hosmer is at first, and Perez.
Kansas City it's not just the 4-game deficit, but you've got Seattle in front of you and the Angels. And then the Twins, who they're ultimately chasing.
Well, and they're on. You're going to see a pitch downstairs, look like a little sinker that
Jose was able to get enough of and just bloop it into center field. Gets it over the head and floats into center. So the Indians get their first hit with 2 outs.
Ramirez came in 5th in the American League in batting average. #1 in the majors with 48 doubles. Now Edwin Encarnacion pops it up, foul, and off to the right, out of play. Edwin in his last 14 games has batted .321 with 4 of his home runs, 13 driven in. Well, Junis out of the stretch for the first time, gets a strike called, much to the dismay of Edwin Encarnacion. Get a quick glance back at Jumptain.
I don't know if he felt that it wrapped around the plate or maybe a little high, but it maybe at the top of the zone.
Perez wants him to go up high with a fastball, but Junis goes to first instead.
Yeah, they think 0-2 count. Maybe they'll start the runner, but you got a pretty good defensive catcher behind the plate that can throw.
Ramirez has stolen 15 out of 19 on the year. Not running, and it's low and away, ball 1.
And Junis is pretty quick to home plate, doesn't lift that front leg and gets rid of it quickly, so Perez will get an opportunity if anybody tries to run.
Check, did he go? They appeal, he did not, says Lance Barksdale. And Encarnacion is back to even at 2-2.
A lot of movement.
Jacob Junis from Rock Falls, Illinois. That's south of Rockford, west of Chicago. Full count. And now this growing crowd sensing some early action here with 2 down. Ramirez will be off at first on the 3-2 pitch to Encarnacion. And a ground ball to short. Escobar has it. And he'll throw him out to end the inning. We've played 1, no score.